Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Treating type 2 diabetes costs the NHS billions of pounds a year. The condition is normally controlled with medication, but a new trial carried out in Newcastle and Glasgow has shown that it can be reversed through dieting. James Gallagher has been looking at the findings.
Isabel Murray thought she was facing a lifetime of type 2 diabetes, but she's lost more than 4 stone on the trial and has now completely changed her relationship with food. Her disease is in remission.
It's freedom to live your life again and know that you're not in that cycle anymore, and know that I can control this and I will never go there again. Never will I be taking diabetic medication again.
She spent 17 weeks drinking these. They're nutritionally balanced soups and shakes to help trigger weight loss.
And that's it. There's 200 calories in a glass and you're allowed 4 of them every day. That's just sweet, really, but that's your lot for up to 5 months.
How does the diet work? The pancreas is critical in type 2 diabetes. If excess body fat is stored around the organ, then it reduces the production of the hormone insulin. That leads to levels of sugar in the blood getting dangerously out of control. Losing weight makes the fat cells disappear and the pancreas work properly again. Doctors say 46% of patients on the trial put their type 2 into remission.
We now have clear evidence that a weight loss of 10 or 15 kilograms is enough to turn this disease around. It's hugely exciting that we can do that in routine practice with ordinary nurses, ordinary dietitians, ordinary GPs and ordinary patients.
Treating diabetes costs the NHS £10 billion a year. Type 2 is normally controlled with medication, but in the long term the disease causes damage throughout the body, leading to organ failure, blindness and limb amputations. Isabel has enjoyed a normal diet and kept the weight off for nearly 2 years now.
I don't feel like a diabetic, so I don't think about it anymore. I've got my life back.
She says if she can beat type 2, then anyone can. James Gallagher, BBC News.
As a nation, we are getting bigger. We have the highest obesity levels in Western Europe, and with it has come an epidemic of type 2 diabetes, which affects more than 3.5 million people in the United Kingdom. Now, a landmark study has shown that dieting and weight loss can put this type of diabetes into remission. Our health and social care correspondent, Victoria MacDonald, has been talking to one of the patients on the trial.
Wherever you look, there is temptation on the high street, in the stores, through advertising. And it's making us fat. 1 in 4 adults is obese. 1/3 of children are overweight or obese. It is the nation's love for too much of this, sugar, and not enough love for fresh fruit and vegetables that is leading to a national obesity epidemic, and that in turn is fueling a meteoric rise in the cases of type 2 diabetes. It is a public health crisis, and it's putting enormous pressure on the NHS, but it's also blighting the lives of too many people. When Tony Mason was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, he was overweight, had no energy and his eyesight was failing. He was on 16 different tablets a day.
My father had diabetes for a long time, undiagnosed, and due to complications he died about a year ago. And when I went to the doctors and they told me that's what I had, it was just a big shock. I thought, you know, I said, well, I'll have to do something about this.
And what he did about it was take part in a landmark trial. It's shown for the first time that an intensive low-calorie diet can put type 2 diabetes into remission. Funded by Diabetes UK and published today in The Lancet, it's being described as a revolution in the way the condition can be treated. And look at him now, happily chopping up the sort of veg he wouldn't have looked at, let alone eaten.
My shopping basket is totally changed what it used to be. It used to be frozen food and things like that, and now it's all fish food. And it's really nice preparing it as well.
It took a lot of discipline. These shakes 4 times a day, only 800 calories for 12 weeks. He eventually lost 25 kilos, and for nearly 2 years, he's watched everything he eats and drinks.
My blood pressure's gone down. I had really high blood pressure, high sugar levels, and everything just dropped within 12 weeks, and it's just gone back to normal, so it was amazing.
Around 3.5 million people in the UK have diagnosed type 2 diabetes. Family history, age and ethnic background increases the risk, but so does becoming overweight. And it's far more common than type 1, which is treated by daily insulin doses. Patients from Scotland and Newcastle who had the condition for less than 6 years took part in the trial. They were scanned to test fat levels around the liver and to see how their pancreas, which produces the insulin, was functioning.
This is the same person after only 8 weeks. And look, you can hardly see any fat inside the tummy.
86% of those who lost 15 kilos or more went into remission, all of them monitored through GP practices. And that has implications for patients and the NHS alike.
So the importance of this is that people with type 2 diabetes are no longer facing an uncertain future of losing eyesight, losing feet, kidney failure. They'll pay less for their insurance. But the best thing is they'll feel better not having to take the tablets. And in terms of the country, this could be economically very important, saving billions. This is indeed a landmark moment for type 2 diabetes.
This has been life-changing for Tony Mason, though he admits the weight loss at the beginning was a trifle too dramatic, not that he eats trifle anymore. And there is a warning with this trial. The diet does need to be overseen by a health professional.